Moving on from Arsenal, Chelsea have been in the news a lot the last few days, and a little bit like you were saying,
Days?
LB.
That's 3 years. What you're on about? Days?
True.
It's just keeping up with Chelsea, bro. Honestly, keeping up with Chelsea, bro.
It should be again. If it was a reality show again, these clubs need to realize they could make proper reality shows out of their clubs. Show us warts and all. Do you know the money they would make? Do you know the money they would make? It's like all that all or nothing nonsense, right? They are the worst shows ever because the Spurs one exposed it because we were all looking forward to. We get to see Pop sacked. We get to see Jose sacked. None of it was on it. Nothing was there. It's rubbish, but it's been it's really interesting because when it all broke about the ownership thing, a lot like you were saying, LB, when it came to you getting stick from Gooners when you said they're in an injury crisis. No, it isn't a crisis. And you're like, yes, it is. I got Chelsea fans come at me doing full-on Will Smiths, keep my club out your effing mouth. This ain't even news, Terry. Some Chelsea fans even tried to tell me, we've all been knowing about this forever. And I'm like, where are these secret underground Chelsea chat rooms where this is being discussed? Because I think you're lying. In the last few days, most Chelsea fans seemingly look like they're siding with Todd Boehly in terms of Todd Boehly's plan sounds the best. A mixture of buying young and developing, building a new stadium, but buying some star players for the first team. However, the reports have stated today from the Times that insiders consider the purchase of Todd Boehly's stake as the most likely outcome at Chelsea. Clearlake Capital are backed by a £90 billion fund they control, as well as personal billionaires of Egbalo. How do you feel about this, Don? Because the Chelsea consensus that I've read online is they want Todd Boehly, but it looks like Clearlake, who now that all the truth's coming out about just buying young, the wage caps, etc., it seems that they are more the problem than Todd Boehly has been. Where's your head at with this? And do you feel that if Clearlake stay, Chelsea could be in trouble in the medium to long term?
Bro, I think people are coming to conclusions without knowing all the facts, in all honesty, because as much as I like Todd Boehly's ambition, that's why I wanted obviously Todd Boehly and Clearlake to come in, because out of all the options that we had at the time, he looked, very ambitious. He was speaking about the Dodgers, everything that he won with them, the fact that he's always going for big names and, spending all this money and whatnot. I said, yeah, this is a guy that obviously doesn't know much about football, but bring him in because he seems really ambitious, right? But at the same time, we need footballing people behind him. But people seem to forget that when Todd Boehly was running about by himself, he was trying to get CR7. He fucking gave Fofana over 200k a week when Fofana just came from a big injury. Yeah, paid over 70 million for the guy, right? He brought in Raheem Sterling on 325 a week, as if Sterling was performing on a mad one at Man City. Yeah, he gave Chani Chukwuemeka 100k a week, right? So there's so many mistakes that he made in that first summer because there wasn't anyone next to him that was making these footballing decisions for him. That's why he was asking Tuchel to help him, and Tuchel was like, "Bro, I don't want to be doing this. I just want to coach." You know what I'm trying to say? So he's made problems on that front. But Todd Boehly hasn't been involved in any of the recruitment now for over a year. That's why when people are like, oh, Todd Boehly doesn't know what he's doing, I'm like, bro, it's been Clearlake that have been doing all these things in terms of the young players, in terms of, flipping all these players globally that are coming in to make a profit. And when people are saying, oh, Clearlake, they're only going to look at young players and that, bro, if you look at Olise, for example, he's young, but he's an established young player that was looking at. You can look at him as like a superstar, for example. We're just chasing Osimhen, we went and bought Caicedo. We went and bought Enzo, right? We've brought in some top young players that Todd Boehly would also be looking at, right? But the problem that people have is they've made up their mind about Clearlake. Clearlake can't do no right, and they can't give them any credit, even though they've done some good things, right? For me, Todd Boehly's made some mistakes, and Clearlake have also made some mistakes. The main thing for me is that whoever's in charge, they need footballing people behind them, bro. I can't have Todd Boehly running about in Portugal, in Spain, and that with his little briefcase, making things happen, trying to make deals happen. And the same thing as Egbalo. I can't have Egbalo making every single decision and basically micromanaging because he hasn't been involved in football long. Hire the people that know what they're doing and just kind of oversee it. That's what I want to be seeing, right? But I'm not taking any sides at the moment, bro, because they've both got positives and they've both got negatives. What I want is a fine balance. If Clearlake stay, I don't want them to be, completely, against giving the best players, the money that they deserve. Yeah. For example, like with Osimhen, I don't think he was worth 300k a week, Terry. But if we're trying to get in, let's say Musiala, for example, I want to pay whatever for someone like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Mm.
So it's all about being flexible and again, still wanting to sort out the first team if you're going to bring in these young players that you're trying to flip for profit. I'm all about having a balance of the two. You know what I'm saying? Whereas people are like are picking this side and picking that side, bro. They both made mistakes, both of them. So I don't know how people can be coming to such full-blown conclusions, to be honest with you.
How do you see it, LB? I mean, quite a few people that have sort of spoken about this in the last few days have kind of drawn a conclusion based on what we're now hearing, that both sides of the fence have been pulling in different directions, have different ideas, want a different identity for Chelsea. Maybe this now explains why the squad has had so much money spent on it, but still doesn't look complete. Maybe this explains the lack of success in the last 2 years. I think maybe it brings it all to a little bit of fruition. Do you see this getting resolved quickly? And do you think this could damage the season ahead if there is uncertainty at the heart of the club in the boardroom?
Well, it explains a lot. It explains why they've been ran badly because, you know, it sounds to me from what I've read that, you know, these guys have been clashing from early on, you know what I mean, in terms of the direction and decision making. And ultimately, you can't run a business like that. You can't run a corner shop like that, man, let alone, you know, a Premier League football club. So getting one of them out and just having one sort of like main leader is definitely the way to go. That doesn't guarantee success because the leader that you end up having, might not know what they're doing. But at least it should put the club in one direction. And ultimately, Don's right. You've got to get the football people in there. Yeah, you got to get football people in there. I mean, I spoke about this on this channel so many times about, you know, the way that they've ran this club, the way that they've destroyed Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea won a Champions League. You know, that team didn't need ripping up. It needed a few changes here and there, adding some new players, and they was ready to go. They tore that team apart. Yeah, sat manager after manager. And we're sat here now, and we still don't really know what's going to happen this year with Maresca. You still don't have a proper striker, and the goalkeeper situation is still unclear. So I think this is probably positive news because now you're just going to have one direction. But ultimately, if this person who now is going to take control, you know, it doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't put football in people, you're still going to have issues because they're not going to know what they're doing. And in terms of, is it going to get resolved quickly? Well, that all depends on whether the two guys are willing to sit down and one of them accepts walking away. I don't know where we're up to on that stage.
The thing is, the impatience comes from the fact that we've obviously gone 2 years now with no trophy. You know, we're not in the Champions League 2 years running, which is affecting these guys' pockets. You know, we need to get back in there. And for me, bro, LB, if we won at least even one trophy last year, I think there will be a little bit more patience in the fan base. But people still can't get over the fact that Roman got sanctioned, bro. And what they need to realize is that's got nothing to do with Clearlake. Yeah, they're not Putin. They didn't decide to go and declare a war. Yeah, Roman didn't have any control over a lot of the things of the club when he got sanctioned. But what he did have control over was who he wanted to take over the club, and he was the one that picked Clearlake and Boehly, bro.
Yeah, you can't be blaming Roman. Bro.
I'm not blaming Roman. I'm just saying he was the one that looked at all the options that were available, and he looked at them as the best option to take over for Chelsea. Yeah. And if you look at it all depends on what you want, because with Todd Boehly, he seems like a guy that wants to spend whatever to go and win right now, right? So and go buy these players that might be has-beens, for example, like a Cristiano Ronaldo. Whereas Boehly is looking at more of a long-term process where you can have sustainable success over a longer period of time. So it all depends on how much.
So they're both wrong then. They're both wrong because they're both horrendous strategies.
That's what I'm saying. You need a balance between the two, bro. You need a balance between the two. You need players.
But when you say that, Don, you backed in the group chat. You said to me, you back what your club's currently doing. But then, LB just said that it's a disgraceful model. So I just love to get your take on.
I don't think the model is a disgrace. 100%. I don't think it's a disgrace. For me, like I've said, I don't want to be overspending on the likes of Osimhen, giving Osimhen $350 a week. Prove yourself at the club first, and then you'll get that payment, right? I don't want to be just going for players that we don't know and playing them in the first team. I want us to be making first team signings. If you're going to be buying all these players that you want to flip, for example, Neto, for example, Sancho, for example, Lavia, bring me guys for the first team if you're going to be flipping guys for profit.
But why wouldn't you have wanted Osimhen, bro?
No, I did want Osimhen, yes, but not for crazy money in terms of the wages, bro.
But who cares? It's not your money, bro.
Bro, it's my club. Of course I'm going to care, bro, if my club's overspending on someone.
So you'd rather have Nicholas Jackson up front than Osimhen?
Of course not. No.
So why are you bothered? Why are you bothered about the wages, bro?
Bro, because I don't think he's worth the money that he was asking for, bro.
But at the end of the day,
you got to reach a compromise.
Yeah, but no, you don't have to cut your. It's not your money. It's not your finances.
It's my club, bro. We can't have that mentality of it's not my money, bro. It's my club.
All right, so you go into another season with Nicholas Jackson as your striker then instead of Osimhen because you're bothered about 350 pounds. This is a billionaire, bro. You see the number on that clip that it said 90 billion. Do you think that cared? Do you think that matters to you?
No, I've seen this club. Yeah, give ridiculous wages to the likes of fucking Kai Havertz, right? People say, but Kai Havertz won you the Champions League. Kai Havertz for 3 years was not the player that we expected him to be. That's why a lot of Arsenal fans were angry when they saw that Arsenal wanted to buy him. And they were looking at 65 million to go and buy him. We couldn't believe it, bro. Right? We time and time again, we kept giving players that didn't prove anything at the club wages that they didn't deserve at the time. Right? And that's what I'm saying to you, LB. For the right player, I'll be more flexible. For me, like I've said, if it's Musiala, for example, I'm like, bro, just pay him the money. With Osimhen, I'm like, bro, listen, pay him a good wage. But when he's asking for over 300k a week and that, nah, bro. Nah, I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that. That's what I'm saying. There needs to be a balance between the two, bro. There needs to be a balance.
But it can't be a subjective balance based on what you want. You either trust Clearlake to make the right decisions or you don't. Obviously, if they make the wrong ones, you'll scrutinize it. It can't just be, well, I like Musiala, so pay him 400 grand a week. I don't rate Osimhen that highly, so I'm going to say it's not a good decision. That's subjective thinking, and club can't take direction from subjectivity because you could ask 100 different Chelsea fans and get 80 different answers as an example. There has to be almost and I think all football fans are guilty of this. I don't think it's specific to Chelsea. There comes a point where, and I've had it with Ineos in the first few months. Are you happy with everything they've done, Terry? No, of course I'm not. It's impossible to be happy with everything your club does at all times. But you either stand behind it or you don't. We do this in politics. I don't like everything that Labour stands for. It doesn't mean I'm going to go and become a Tory. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there comes a time where you have to be honest. And I think for me, there's a comment here that actually comes through from Never a Foul that says, hold on, Don. Are you saying Lavia is not first team level?
Wait, I did say it's first team level. I said, if we're going to buy young players, right, as well as buying players to flip, you better bring me young players that are ready to play in the first team is what I said. Yeah. Because you can find a lot of young players of experience, bro. Look at Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho's not even 25 and he's got over 100 appearances, bro. Saka's not even 25. He's got over 200 appearances. That's the route I want to go down. If you're going to bring me young players for the first team, bring me players that are ready to play right now in the Prem. I don't want to be bringing in the likes of Mudryk or even the likes of...
No. You can't do that, though. Because you can't say, bring me... No, we'll pay him the money.
We'll say that again?
You got to pay him the money then.
Yeah, that's what we did. All the likes of Lavia, they came in and they were happy with the wages.
And now Osimhen's in Galatasaray. This is the point. If you want to sign these players, you have to pay them the money that they want.
Yeah, but bro, listen, we've already seen, like, look, with for example, Jadon Sancho and Felix. Yeah, I know right now their career is all about proving themselves because obviously their career's kind of gone downhill. Sancho went downhill after going to United. Felix, same sort of thing with Atletico Madrid. So you'll understand why they would take a wage cut. You know what I'm trying to say? With Osimhen, bro, like I've said, yeah, his money was always going to go back up, LB. I hear what you're saying about the money, but it was always going to go back up once he proved himself. They've proven that with Palmer, bro. Palmer's money went up instantly, bro.
But see, the problem is, though, so if your model's advocated, let's say Clearlake takes on your model, but that means you're never signing on Musiala. That means you're never signing a Jadon Sancho or a João Felix in their pomp because none of those players, I don't think there's any player in the world, unless they have a long-standing, deep-rooted desire to play for your club and or the manager, you're not going to take a player like Musiala, I don't know what he even earns now, away from Bayern Munich, but say, look, bruv, you're coming in on 100 grand a week.
No, that's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? But you're advocating for that for Osimhen. You're saying, come here and earn it.
Osimhen as an individual, yes, but not every single player.
So again, you're going to start treating all your players differently. What that is, but yeah, the club wanted Osimhen to be your main number one striker, but wouldn't pay him the money. So why would they change that model for other players they see as number one starters for their team, where they haven't changed it yet?
If it was to go in, for example, like a Haaland, yeah, I don't see us doing the same sort of thing as what we've done for Osimhen because Haaland is a lot more proven.
But then why don't you go for a better striker than Osimhen and just pay him the money then?
Who else is there right now that's better than Osimhen?
So
right
you're
now?
accepting that Osimhen's the best striker that you could get then. So why don't you pay him the money?
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying to you, bro. The fact we're not in Champions League, like I've already told you, bro. Yeah, we were never gonna break the wage structure to go and bring in someone like a Osimhen.
Break the wage structure. You're paying Sterling 175 grand to play at another football club. I think it's so bro.
That's what I'm saying. That was Todd Boehly. That was Todd Boehly that went and did that. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen what John Obi Mikel was saying with the whole Osimhen situation. He basically said Osimhen compromised, Chelsea compromised, and was basically on the edge of getting things finalized, but there wasn't enough time. So it sounds like there was a compromise in the end, bro. Because I was even saying, I said, bro, if Chelsea have got to squeeze up a little bit more, go and do that to bring him in, and then make sure his money goes back up after a year, right? But for me, my way of thinking is prove yourself at the club, and your money will go up, bruv. These lot are given contracts which are very incentivized, right? And you can hit a lot of bonuses to get that money. That's my point. With Osimhen, he wanted guaranteed money.
Players don't want guaranteed money. Players are not going to accept this. This is the point that.
Is Osimhen now world class? Then is that what we're saying now? Is Osimhen's world class now?
You just said a second ago, what better strikers is there than Osimhen? So you've accepted that Osimhen's the best striker that you could have got. So you've not got the best striker that was on the market for you. Because you have this thing of saying, "Oh, we're not spending any money now."
And the thing is, he wasn't asking for 350,000 pound a week. That isn't what any of the reports said.
We offered him 150 is what.
If you look at Musiala right now, Musiala is currently earning 394,000 a week. Okay, even if you're in the Champions League, your model. Sorry, I'm a liar. I was looking at. I wasn't looking at Musiala. I was looking at Thomas Muller. My dyslexia kicked in. In fairness with Musiala, he's currently on £96,000 a week. So let me readdress that. Okay. So £150,000 a week for him would be a significant pay rise. But if he has another good year at Bayern Munich and he has got the world at his feet and Chelsea come in and say, we want you next summer, they are going to have to offer him because if Bayern Munich want to get him on a new deal, they're going to have to put him on the same kind of money that the Thomas Mullers, the Leroy Sané's, the Kimmich's are on, which is 350,000 up to 400 odd K. That is the bracket, the pricing bracket for a player like him. And I understand your model, and I would say this. I will believe Chelsea's wage structure model is going to change, and they're going to pay these superstars that they think they can still attract the right money when they do it. Until then, I feel like it's a little bit of media spin. I don't think he's worth 400 grand a week, 350 grand a week, Victor Osimhen. He's definitely worth 200 grand a week basic. He has to be. Looking at what he's done in Serie A, how good a football player he is, what level of finisher he is. That's what Ivan Toney. If any Premier League club was to sign Ivan Toney, you're telling him you're our main. Any top 6 club tells a player you're our main number 9. You've got to be paid 200 grand a week because you can't play for a club the size of Chelsea as the main number 9 and be paid like a youth project player. You can't be.
I agree. And what was reported is that he was offered 150k basic and bonuses. Right, he was definitely going to score goals.
That's too low for a player like him.
He was definitely going to score goals in his team, bro. Yeah, and you know what's crazy about LB? He's accepted 10k more a week at Galatasaray, bro. He didn't end up going Saudi. He didn't end up going Saudi. He ended up going to Galatasaray for basically 10 grand more.
But that's because he didn't want. I mean, the reports were very, very, very consistent. He didn't really want to go to Saudi Arabia. He wants to stay in Europe and play Champions League football and European football.